Hey guys, so I'm back in the shop today. If y'all have been following along, I ran through that little bit of logs that we had out there. So don't have a whole lot of firewood related things to be doing right now. I mean, I've got plenty of hickory and stuff I could run, but I'm just gonna take a break. It's getting hot this time of year, so need to get to installing a couple of these Parrot Uncle fans. So these, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but I know once I started looking for some industrial fans, you know, whether it be on the internet or through social media or whatever, all I ever saw was a bunch of advertisements for these. You know, I swear your phone or whatever you're using is listening to you, and whoever's advertising most, you end up seeing a lot of ads for these things. So and we ended up getting, I've actually bought 4 of them now. I've got one that we have installed already, and that one we installed and we're just kind of giving it a test and seeing how we feel about it. This is the 120 inch, so it's got a 10-foot span across the blades there, and it puts out a good amount of air. You know, this is a 40 by 60 shelter here, and we do have it spray foamed, and I've got just a through wall AC unit over here, and then I've also got an enclosed bathroom right there that has an air conditioning unit in it that is insulated independent of this building. So that is well conditioned in that bathroom. And then this area here, I mean, I'll go ahead and just show you. It's 80 degrees is what it says inside the shop right now. We have just a little weather station right here, and it actually shows it's 78 outside, 80 interior, but the humidity is significantly lower. It doesn't feel like 80 degrees in here at all right now, and I definitely don't think it's 78 degrees outside. So I mean, that thing's not quite accurate. You know, today it's going to get up well over 90. It's July 28th, I believe, 29th. I think it's 29th, and it's going to get well into the 90s today here, and you know, it'll never get, I mean, I'm actually shocked it says 80 right there. It usually doesn't get it. It might get 83, 84 in here, but it'll feel significantly cooler than that just due to that air conditioning unit. That unit will run all the time. And this is an LG, you know, through wall unit, 210 volt, I guess it is, 220 volt. This is nice. I mean, you know, we keep it, you know, lowest temperature. It runs constantly. It never shuts off. Of course, it doesn't satisfy this space, but what it does is it just knocks that humidity down for us. And then we want to get these installed, and that combination of just moving air and less humidity makes it feel pretty comfortable in this shop. And so we ended up, like I said, we ended up getting 4 of these. I've got 1 installed here. I'm going to install 2 more here with you guys today, hopefully. And then I've got 1 other one for our open shelter outside out there, our container shelter. If you guys have followed along, maybe you've seen me walk past that plenty of times. So we're going to put 1 out there just to help move some air. That's where we rack out all of our firewood for delivery purposes. So I'm going to take you guys along, kind of unbox one of these things, show you the quality of the build, and I mean, my thoughts. I really do like this one, and that's why we went ahead and got a few more, and you just can't beat the price. You know, I think we ended up getting them a little bit on sale the second time around. The first one we bought, I want to say it was close to $400, and then we got these other 3, and there was a little percentage off. I want to say it was like $360 a fan or $350 each, something like that. And we felt like that's definitely the best value you can find for a, you know, well-built, quality, large fan, you know, that seems like it's gonna last. I mean, of course, I don't know how long it will last. You know, I don't even know how long these fans have been on the market, to be honest, but I've only had this one installed for probably about a month and a half. And then these were on back order, so it took a little bit to get them in, but we've got them in, and I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it here with you guys, and go ahead and assemble it and show you guys what's involved in that as well. So All right, we'll go ahead and get this thing unboxed. I'll show you guys how it's packaged. And you know, we get all these on Amazon, I think. You can go straight through their website at Parrot Uncle. But I think through Amazon we got a little bit better pricing, and we just like the security of, you know, knowing that it's going to arrive when Amazon tells you it will. We get so much stuff through Amazon, of course, just like everybody else. So these are the blades. So I can't remember how many blades it is. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 blades, and you know, they're a little less than 5 feet in length, of course. One thing that, you know, if you get those heavier built industrial fans, like the Big Ass Fan brand or whatever others, you know, there's all kinds out there. Most of them are going to have a wider blade, and that's going to be, you know, obviously the wider the blade, the more air it's going to move. I think this one, if I'm not mistaken, it's 36,000 CFM. That's a decent amount. I mean, it's really not much less than if you were to spend, say, $4,000 on a big ass fan of the same diameter, 120 inch. Don't quote me on that, but that's around the price point. I'm sure that those fans, when you see them, will just look, you know, I've never really even put my eyes on them or gotten close up to them. And of course, I've seen them in industrial spaces, the larger ones, you know, 20-foot plus diameter fans that I don't see how anyone could justify spending the money on. You know, because I think that for what we need, these are going to last plenty long enough. And I mean, in all honesty, replacing one of these fans, once you have it all wired up and ready to install, it's not that big of a thing. If you ended up just having to buy one every 10 years, you know, and I mean, I hope they last that long, but we'll find out. Time will tell for sure. But these are packaged real well. I mean, the blades are all bound together, you know, nice and tight. And it's a decent width blade. I'll take a tape measure to it. You know, I was a little bit skeptical buying these fans, and hopefully this kind of helps some guys out that are kind of on the fence thinking about it. You know, a good in-depth view of what to expect, at least. You know, they're 4 inches wide, and I think they do taper slightly towards the end, so that gives you an idea of what to expect there. You know, I don't know how wide those heavier industrial fans are. Probably a good bit wider blade. I know that they are, and that's the main difference that I see. I mean, of course, the motor inside could be, you know, built completely differently as well. I'm sure it is, but this is the extent of it right here. Just everything right here inside this styrofoam, and then all of this is just trash. So. And I have my father-in-law help me wire all this stuff up. He is so handy, and I'm so thankful for him for helping do that. He's able to. I'm not an electrician by any means. I mean, I probably could have figured this out, especially with a little bit of guidance, YouTube guidance, but I was happy for him to be able to help, and hopefully I get these installed. I'm definitely not an expert by any means, but I can certainly get it assembled, and I think we'll be able to get it installed as well. All right, guys, well, I'll just show you kind of, I got everything unboxed now, and just show you kind of what you get in the box. You know, of course, you get a good instructions. You got all your blades here that I went over earlier, 6 blades, about 4 inches wide. You got your top and bottom plate to your motor. Of course, your fan mount that'll go up to the fan box up there. All your hardware to mount your blades to your motor. You got your receiver for your remote, so it is remote control. I don't know why the remote has a light on it. Ours does not have a light built in. I guess you can get a few of these that do. The remote also has, you know, this is your fan speed right here. This is to reverse your fan. So we will utilize that in the winter time. We'll reverse the fan and get that heat out of the eave up there and push it down, you know, by reversing the fan. And then you've got, you know, you can set set your time. You know, if you just want it to run for 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, you can do that. We're just going to run our fans constantly, just keep them going, keep air moving. So that's nice. And then it comes with a few extra wires based on the length of the drop down rod that you get. This is what comes standard. I believe it's a 12-inch rod, so I don't need to utilize any of these additional you know, extensions that you can get for your fan in case you need to drop it down further. But they do give you these are, you know, built into the kit. But yeah, I just use you do have to use a drop down rod. You can't just mount it straight up there. I do remember that being an issue. I did want to do that, and it's been a little bit. I can't really exactly remember why. I think it's just there was no way to mount it without it to the bracket here. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going. I'm gonna get assembling it. All right, guys, well, I think I got it pretty much fully assembled now. This is what it looks like. You know, this is the top of the motor housing, of course, and then there's your extension rod. So all I've got to do now, I've got my fan box already mounted, so I'm going to go ahead and mount this to my fan box. And then, you know, y'all are probably familiar, but you know, you just lift the fan into place, and then that'll hold your fan up for us, you know, once this is attached to the fan box. And then we can get all our wiring done and then dress it up with our, you know, with our little cover piece there. And then all I gotta do is just screw this on the bottom of the fan. That's kind of the bottom trim piece there. The hard part is getting this device, you know, this is your receiver to kind of get up in there. And of course, you've got all this housing to fit it in as well if you can't get it in the box up top. But we'll make that work, and then hopefully we'll have this thing running here in just a few minutes. All right, so I went ahead and killed the power. That is the most important step. You don't want to be shocking yourself. Now I'm just going to get this cover plate off. So this is just my fan mount bracket. So I'll get this attached to the box, and I'll be able to lift my fan up. I know I showed it to you down there on the workbench, but lift my fan up, hook it in the hook here, and then get things wired up. All right, so once you get to this stage, it's fairly simple. You know, white goes to white, black to black, and then we got our ground, which is green. You know, 3 wires there and that wire nut. So nothing too complicated here. It's just kind of aggravating. You don't have a whole lot of room to work around these blades and that kind of thing, but it's doable. And then we got to get this receiver, you know, wedged in there where we can get our cap on. And then you, of course, once you get it all wired up, you got to plug your receiver in to that wire that we ran from the motor up through the rod here, and then you're ready to go after that. Now I'm trying to put the trim piece on the bottom, and then I just got this is just like a little safety cable. Got everything wired up and up in there, so everything's good. Just hook up this safety cable, which is just a precautionary thing that's really not that important. I don't think it's that crucial. I don't think the fan's gonna fall, but I'll go ahead and put this on, finish that up, and then we'll go ahead and test it. All right, well, it was a success. We got it going. I feel like this one goes a little bit faster speed than the other one. These are both on full speed, and so that's something that is a little bit strange. But anyways, I think these are great fans. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and get this third one put up, and we'll go from there. It's feeling a lot better in here with those two moving air. You get up here to the front of the shop and it feels great. So if any of you guys are hesitant, you know, I was certainly hesitant about buying one of these fans, you know, just because just seemed like it popped up out of the blue on me, and then I started seeing ads about it all over the place. But just you know, I was definitely hesitant, being that it's not any kind of name brand or anything like that, but I would definitely give it a shot. I think they're going to be good fans for us, and I'm pleased with them, certainly pleased with them so far. So we'll go ahead and get this other one assembled and installed as well. All right, number 2 for the day. See if we can get this one done a little quicker. Well, that's not good. They sent me 2 bottom plates and no top plate. So that's something that sucks, but something that y'all need to be aware of that can happen, I guess. And that's a little bit frustrating. I'll go open up the other box, because I've got another one that I was going to install out there. And I'm not going to install that one today. I don't even have the wire. I don't have that one wired up and ready. So I'll go steal the part that I need out of that box, hopefully, as long as that one was packaged correctly, and then I'll be giving Parrot Uncle a call. All right, so I went and got the one out of the other box. This one had 2 just like this, not one like this. So I'll give them a call after I get this thing assembled and installed. Alright guys, so I got that one installed, and it gave me some trouble. I couldn't get the receiver tucked in there like I have on the last couple. I just didn't have enough length on the wire, and I definitely want the wires to be up in the box, of course, the wire connection. So hoping everything's still good to go, and that should be fine just like that. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. There's just no room right there. No slack in the wire to get it where I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on, and we'll make sure it works. Guys, well, everything works. I just shut that one off so I could grab my camera, but did have a little issue with the bottom cover plate there rubbing a little bit, But I went ahead and just kind of tweaked that, and it's good now. So that's something you gotta maybe pay a little attention to, but not a big deal. That's just kind of like a little thin piece of metal, so I guess it got a little bit tweaked in shipping or something. But I'll go ahead and show you guys how they look. All right, so we got that one last fan right there. Then we have a pretty good gap, so we got a cord reel here, and then we got two up front. But this is the majority of the area of the shop that we use is up here, honestly. So this is where we want them going. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn that back one on as well. Nice thing is I'm pretty far away from it here. Over here, this is the door to enter. And you know, these trusses are 5 foot spacing. So say we're at this truss, we're 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, plus the extra distance to get over there, you know, a good 40, 45 feet, I'd say. And, you know, I'm able to just push the remote there and the fan comes on. So it's got pretty good range on that remote. I mean, it may go a lot further than that, but that's honestly all we need. So, because I mean, really, we're never even going to turn these things on and off. I wouldn't anticipate. We'll just leave them running. We'll reverse them in the winter time, and but just keep them going during the summer and, you know, into fall until it gets cool enough to reverse them. So, and I'm looking forward to that. I am not a fan of the hot weather. That's why I like firewood. I'd much rather be doing firewood all year long, and well, whether it be producing it, selling it, all that. So, but yeah, I'm glad we got these fans going. Glad I got them installed, and all in all, I'd say they're great. You know, so far. So I'll keep you updated and update you if I have any issues out of any of them. But as of now, I mean, the only complaints I have is that one had you know, the wrong part in it. I was able to steal a part out of the other one, and so far I have not had luck. I did go ahead while I took a lunch break, tried to give them a call and get in touch with somebody over there and let them know that I'm gonna need that part in order to install my last one, and was unable to get anyone on the phone. It just goes to, you know, ring back tone that you hear as you're just sitting there waiting, you know, for someone to pick up, and then it eventually just ends the call. And that happened. I tried that about 5 times. So I'm gonna have to try to email them, and I would much rather just speak to somebody so that I can explain to them exactly what I need. But I'll email them and try to get them to call me, and you know, hopefully I can get that part sent out in a timely manner, and get that last one installed as well out there in the racking shed. So that's the one negative that I have so far. And then, you know, I other than just that little bent plate, but that's really nothing. And then I wasn't able to get the receiver in that one. It's just super tight, and if you don't have quite enough slack on your wire, I think that was really the issue. I just didn't have enough slack on my wire, and that's what created the issue there. So but I think that will be just fine installed the way it is. But anyways, guys, I'll quit rambling. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.